y'all coming? And let's get going. I'm going to go ahead and refresh just to be sure that I really did start going live. I think I am, but one never really knows. Alrighty. Yes, it appears that we are live. Good. All right. Well, you have been looking at the preview, I guess. So I have to show you something. You're gonna laugh. So this has been sitting on my desk since before Christmas. A friend sent it to me. And I was like, gosh, it would be bad for it to go bad. And it's cinnamon chili chocolate. It isn't overly spicy, but it's kind of made my mouth water. So I'll apologize. I shouldn't have taken a bite of it right before starting the video. But Judy, you know who you are. Thank you for that chocolate. It is outstanding. All right. So this is a Z fold card. It's actually probably more like a W card or an M card, but it's also a Z card if you turn it that way. But regardless of what you want to call it, it's got a few folds in it. And it features the gorgeous Regency Park DSP. I really wasn't sure I was going to love this DSP because it's pretty bold. Most of the designs are very bold, but it's really gorgeous. And when I look at this pattern like this, to me, it looks like a Japanese screen. That's what this looks like to me. So anywho, hey everybody, I appreciate y'all coming and thank you for being on ahead of time. And I have used the two-tone Flora for my florals here, my floras. And I have no faunas, I just have floras. And the Kind and Sincere gave me my sentiments. So this is very, very simple. It is very thick. I'm not going to kid you because a lot of people don't use a mat when they make these Z folds, but I just can't do it. So I have mats, and you do have to work a little bit to put it in your envelope, or you could make one of the envelope box cards that I showed, about a week ago. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. This will all be on my blog tomorrow, so you can just watch. You don't even have to take notes or anything. So my two card bases, I have a large card base and a small card base. That's what I'm calling that, is a small card base, are made from early espresso. And the large one is, it always falls out, is 5.5 wide by 11 long. All right, and we're going to score along the long side at 1 3/4. Let me turn it over. You guys know there's a big end and a small end, right? The small end, you might normally use it for cardstock, but I have a pretty heavy hand, and so I stick with the large end, which was actually designed for scoring DSP. So when I score DSP with this, I have to consciously not use my normal heavy hand. I'm getting it now. And I can see that I'm getting a little bit of distortion in my video, so if I'm going to be blurry again or a little buffery, I'm so sorry. Okay, anywho, 1 3/4 is our first one, and then we're going to go 1 3/4, 1 3/4, 1 3/4. I've done the math, so that is 3.5 inches. Oh, 3.5. Why is that doing that? What have I got there? I must have a thingy. I must have a doohickey or a thingy-majigger. Just a second, let me see what I got. What have I got going there? Huh. Okay, there, I fixed it. 3.5, 5 1/4, and the final at 7 inches. Golly, me and my heavy hand are not doing good today, are we? That's all right. Let me show you a little secret. Let me show you a little trick. A tricky poo. I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm going to, my bone folder, and I'm going to turn it over. So I scored there, and I made a little Humpty-Doo. So I'm just going to take my bone folder on that side and give it a little rub like that. And that pretty much rubs it out. We're going to cover it anyway, but you can do that. All right, so before I get my score tool too far gone, let's pull it back. Oh, thank you, Marcia. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm excited. We'll see. It looks like a really, really cool resort. And I am going to go snorkeling again. I am going to do it, by golly. By golly. This little card, this is the front piece right here. This is 3 inches by 6. It's also early espresso. and I'm just going to score at 3 inches. So basically, I'm scoring it in half. Okay, that can now go back to its place. Now, when you start your folding, I recommend that you start at the 7-inch line and fold it like it was a regular card base, okay? So fold in the direction that you would make if it was just a regular card base. See that? That makes it a valley. And then you're going to fold these opposite. So the next fold down the line is going to be a mountain. That's the 5 1/4. See where we're going with that? The next fold will be a valley. I bet you know what the last one is, because y'all smart like that. And then the 1 3/4 inch is going to be a mountain. And you have just solved the riddle of the WMZ card. All right? Easy and also peasy. This one, oh, this one's hard. Whew. Y'all sitting down? Here we go. Oh, thank you, Marilee. I appreciate that very much. It was a very good week. I'm not going to lie. It was fun. It was fun this week, for sure. Okay, so that's all there is for the folding. Now we're going to do some gluing and adhering. Gluing and gluing, and stamping and gluing, and gluing and stamping. Now, I have picked 2 designs from the Regency Park. The first is really sweet sorbet with a little bit of a leaf in shaded spruce. And then the second one is all sweet sorbet, and they've left the leaf out. So very simple. They go together perfectly. Hey, Donna, thank you for joining. I appreciate that. And here we go. Now, these are all sweet sorbet, and I hope you don't get too bored, but I'm going to adhere them all together because I didn't do any of them ahead of time. I could have, but I didn't. And I'm using liquid glue. I just like the wiggle room that I get. But you know what I really should do is make those be by themselves, just so I'm sure I've got everything straight. There we go. So all of the narrow panels have the DSP with the green leaf in it. And then I just used the one that doesn't have the green leaf on the back of the little small card. Now, I do want to tell you guys, there's only a few more days. What is this? The 13th? Is this the 13th? There's only like, oh, see what I did there? There's only like 6 more days, 3 more days through the 19th. Pick that up. Stop yakking and pay attention to what you're doing, Mary. Pay attention to what you are doing. Did you see what I did there? I got myself discombobulated because I had too many things all stacked up at once. And they weren't straight. Whew, that was a close call. This is why you use liquid glue. Just saying. All right. Yeah, Joanna, it is chilly here. It's going to be down to 28 again overnight. I am very grateful to still have a house. I know there are some people in this part of the world that are dealing with these cold temperatures and no house, and I feel really, it was not good. It was not good. They said that, interestingly, the one that hit in LaGrange, which is south of us, they said was EF2, and the one that hit in Griffin was EF3. Thankfully, I don't think anybody in LaGrange, certainly nobody in Griffin was killed, so that was a bit of a miracle. All right, so I've got those adhered, and I'm going to go ahead and, hey, Tracy from Alabama. Hopefully you weren't caught in the big weather not yesterday, whenever the heck it was. Was it yesterday? I don't even know anymore. No, it was day before. So now we're just going to adhere these to the 4 little narrow panels that we made. Looked to me like they had a Hobby Lobby that was in Griffin that was just destroyed. I was like, man, that is craft supply abuse in a big way. All right. Dun, 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 dun. I guess, you know, the other thing you could do that would be almost as exciting as watching me do this is if you poured some Quikrete into a wheelbarrow and then put some water in it and watched it dry. That would be fun. Almost as exciting as this. We're getting there, I promise, guys, I promise. All right, now I'm going to put that aside for a second. I'm going to put my lid on my, well, no, you know what I'll do? I'll adhere this DSP to this mat because that's easy. And then we're going to do some 98 points. Oh, in Melbourne. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. Good, Tracy, I'm glad you didn't have any damage around there. Stampin' in Dixie. Where are you, Dixie? Were you in Autauga County? Are you in Alabama? We used to live in Prattville many, many years ago when we were still in the military. We lived in Prattville. I was stationed at Maxwell. So it was disconcerting to hear that Prattville had damage. But we're feeling grateful today. Okay, now let's go ahead and stamp some flowers. The two-tone Flora, you're going to be surprised by this. They are two-tone. They're two-step stamps, okay? And let's see, we've got, let me get them together. These two go together. Wait one, where did you put it? And these two go together, okay? So I'm using Sweet Sorbet for all of the stamps, but for the larger fill images, I'm going to use Stamped Off Once Sweet Sorbet, okay? That way, oh, in Huntsville, I lived there, and Huntsville frequently gets some pretty good damage, Tracy, yeah. So, Stampin' in Dixie, did you say you're in Prattville? And Deborah lived in Prattville. See, a lot of people lived in Prattville. Who knew? Were you guys military? Like, if you live in Prattville, you obviously had to be military, right? No, of course not. Okay, so I'm just doing this on a random piece of basic white because we're going to cut them out. So I'm going to stamp, or I'm going to ink, and then I'm going to stamp and stamp. That is called second generation or Stamped Off Once. Easy, right? And then I'll take its coordinating stamp, and we're going to stamp right over the top in full strength. Now, this one's kind of interesting. Can you see those little holes right there? Of course you can, because I'm holding it really close to the camera. The little holes in the fill stamp coordinate with it. They line up perfectly. So if you line up those little holes, you'll be good to go. Okay, so take your time. I'm going to pull it to me so I can line them up because I hate to... and I did what I said not to do. If I didn't say not to do it, I should have said don't do it. You should, when you're doing this, it's a lot easier if you stamp the dark image first. So when you do these, just throwing out there, stamp this one first in full strength, then do the fill image and the Stamped Off Once. I kind of got lucky because it's a little hard to see that lighter image through the dark ink on the stamp, but it worked out. Whew. Okay, so for the other one, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it not what I just said. Dork. I'm going to stamp the fill image first, or the detailed image first, in full strength. We're in Atlanta. We're just south of Atlanta. So the tornadoes went just south of us and just north of us. I mean, we were very fortunate. So I'm going to stamp that off on my scrap paper, and then I'm going to line it up like so. There we go. Pretty good. Now, before I get over to my cutter, because I'm going to get off screen to cut, I'm going to stamp 3 of these little leaf images, and it's 2 leaves together, and it's going to cut with the leaves together. And I'm going to stamp it in shaded spruce. We're going to do it 3 times. 2, 1, 2, 3. And once again, yes, indeed, I should have cut these out. Well, Jenny, I am a dork, and I own that straight up. I am a dork. Ooh, that was weird. Okay, I'm going to go off screen for just a second, and I'm going to do a little cutting. These are the cool little dies from the two-tone Flora set, and we're going to cut this one. There we go. And then I think it's this one right here. Yeah, I'll get it lined up. Don't worry, I'll line it up when I get over there. And then this is our leaf image. Okay, so Murmur amongst yourselves. Yes, thank you, Faith. We were grateful too. I was probably more worried than Wayne was. Wayne just deals with that stuff a lot better than I do. He's way more accustomed to it. I don't know. He grew up in the South. I grew up in California, so I was accustomed to earthquakes, not tornadoes. Tornadoes I learned about when I moved to the South. And frankly, I could have done without ever knowing about tornadoes. I don't like them. Me and tornadoes do not get along at all well. I just don't like them. I'm just saying I don't like them. I just don't like them. All right. All right, I didn't get the world's best cut on that one flower, but it's okay. I'm gonna take it, and I may fix it a little bit with my skizzers. Just so you guys aren't here until the crack of midnight, because I didn't do any of this ahead of time. My gosh, what am I do? Y'all, I realize I can't believe I've been doing this Stampin' Up thing for 8 years now. Can you even believe that? That's crazy talk, I tells you. Crazy talk. Now, I'm going to feel real goofy if I get over there and y'all going, you know, Mary, we can't hear a word you're saying. I'll be like, oh, so I was, in fact, talking to myself. All right. There we go. Easy and peasy. Done and done. All right. Hello from Lower Delaware. Lower Delaware, okay. So south of Dover. All right. Now, all I'm going to do with this one, just because I made a little bit of a hot mess of it. Let me get some stuff out the way here. Where'd my skizzers go? You can hear me. Yay! Talk louder when I'm cutting. Okay. See how I kind of got off? I got a little bit off because I was hurrying. There, I'm just going to trim that off. It makes it just a little less apparent that I was inept. Okay? So you don't have to do that if you don't want, but if you do, you can. Sure. Sure. All right. Now, this is our little card front. And really, all we're going to do is I'm going to take this big one. We're going to go like that. And then this little guy is going to go like this. And we're going to stick some lifts in there. Some lifts. And you can go off the edges because this will not extend past the end of the edge of the card by any stretch. All right. So that's where that's going to go. But before I adhere anything, I'm going to stamp my sentiments. Because my sentiments lived at Dover. There you go. Dover Air Force Base. I only lived there once. And I was pretty good with it, being that was the only time I needed to live there. I was good. All right, so let me see. What was I looking for? I'm looking for kind, and you are so. You're two. Sorry, not you are so. You are two. That is the coolest. This is the coolest stamp set. Kind and sincere. You can mix and match all of these sentiments. So you can say darn near anything that, you know, would make you feel kind and sincere. So we're going to do You Are So Kind. And we're going to do it in Shaded Spruce. Hey, Rosie. And I'm going to start with the kind sentiment because it kind of drives everything. And I'm going to center it right there. Like so. Now, I did ahead of time because I've made the sample. I did check this. You always want to check the cling stamps, okay? To be sure that they're going to stamp straight. And this one was pretty straight too. So I'm going to just put it right there. And why am I doing this first? In case I bork it, I don't want to have lost out on my little flowers. There we go. We'll take it. We'll take it. Now, going to get my liquid glue back out. And I think what I'll do is pick these up. Like so. And then I'm just going to glue in place. So I'm going to put a little glue right here. Little glue right here. put the leaf right back. Little glue right there. All right, and then we're gonna put little glue here. I am not using, there's not one dimensional anywhere on this card. Nowhere. Because it is way plenty thick without even the tiniest dimensionalizing. All right, and there we go. So there's our card front. Let's go ahead and put it on a Sweet Sorbet mat. And then we're gonna put it onto our little card-based doohickey. And then I'm gonna show you how to put everything together. And then I'm going to take my little eraser and erase where I just put green. Because, yeah, I'm not even going to use an embellishment on this card. Did I mention it's thick? It's thick. I'm just throwing that out there. All right, now, there's a little trick here. Just going to show you. This is going to fold up, and this base goes on this direction. So that's a little counterintuitive. It folds on the right side instead of on the left side. All right? So be thinking of that while you are gluing your pieces to the card base. Otherwise, you'll end up upside down and backwards. And that's no good. Nobody wants that. All right, we'll put that there like so. And then the other one that I matted earlier will go on the other end. Like this. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of fit checking here before we get things adhered. And I will tell you why. Oh, you know what I did? I used my back liner for my stamp for my flowers. What a dork. Okay, I need 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. Hang on just a second. Let me fix this. 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. All right. Now, this piece right here is going to go on the back panel. About like that. And I'm going to want this stamp, thanks, to be right in the middle of the card. But I also want it completely hidden, okay? So that means that this card needs to be at least this far out. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, let me get that off of there. So what I'm going to do, in order to adhere this, you want to set it in place. Keep your fold folded. Don't try to do this unfolded. That just won't work. Okay. So I know I want adhesive right here, and I'm truly just going to eyeball it. So I'm going to open it like this. I'm going to use my liquid glue. I know, Jean, this should be marked in the calendar somewhere. I'm going to use a little liquid glue, and I'm going to go right out here. You see how narrow of a strip I'm doing? Okay. And then close it down and hold it for a second. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,004. Okay. Then you can open it back up like this. And what you're going to do is we're going to fold it back down, fold everything together, and adhere it just like this. If you try to do it open, what's going to end up happening is you're going to have a card. This is going to extend past the end or some nonsense, okay? And you don't want to do that. So keep your fold folded. So again, I'm going to put adhesive just right here. And I'm just doing a little squiggly line like that. Liquid glue is your friend, and then close it. Okay, and hold it until it takes. I did say in case I bork it. Yes. In case I bork it, I won't have lost my whole card front. So you can see now that because I did it like that, we have a Z fold. Okay, so now let's make our inner liner. And I'm going to first stamp these little flower doohickeys, And we're going to do the same trick again where we use Stamped Off Once Sweet Sorbet and Full Strength Sweet Sorbet. And I am going to go against what I told you. I'm going to do the Stamped Off Once one ahead of time. No, I'm not. I'm going to do what I said. I'm going to do what you said, Mary. Do what you said. I'm going to stamp the Full Strength first. That's the detailed image. And why don't I just turn it around and do the same thing here? Okay. And then I'll do the same on my envelope. I'm going to do the same with the envelope. So let's go ahead and just do that. Like so. And these are real easy to line up too because they just really line up very well. All right, so now I've got the other side. I'm going to ink, stamp off once, and then I'm going to line the little holes up. The little holes in the middle of the flowers line up perfectly with the little holes here. If they don't, turn your stamp around because you've just got it upside down. Don't decide it just doesn't fit because it absolutely does fit. All right? Trust me on that. Turn it upside down like I just did, and now the middles are completely lined up. There we go. Well, and then I did all that, and it's not very good, but that's okay. They're flowers. Flowers are only perfect to God. Okay. There we go. And then we'll do our envelope. Here we go. The good news is, if you're getting antsy, we're almost done. Almost done. Nope. Got to turn it. Remember, don't get in a hurry with these. If it doesn't line up, turn your stamp because I promise it will line up perfectly. Probably the hardest part is making sure you remember to stamp off once. If you don't, it'll be fine. It's just going to be, you're not going to see that definition very well. There we go. All righto. Now, almost there. Almost there. Now we're going to stamp our thanks. And what I want to do is going to be right in the middle because I want it to be covered by this. Remember, we want it to be covered by this. So that means it needs to be really as far to the inside as I can make it, right? Because it's really kind of a large sentiment for this set, isn't it? It's maybe a large sentiment for this card. So you might have more fun doing it with a little smaller set, but I just thought this one was so cool. All right. And I did check ahead of time, so in theory, if I line it up straight, it's going to be straight. This is Shaded Spruce again. There we go. I'll take it. And be careful, the dark colors take a hot second to dry, so don't rub your fingers over it. Don't be like me. Inky fingers is a good thing, but not when it's also smearing your card. So I'm just avoiding running my hand over that Shaded Spruce ink for just a few more seconds. And then we're going to pop this on the inside of the fun fold. Add our DSP to our envelope flap, and we'll be done ski. We'll be done ski. There we go. Oh, please don't think I'm patting myself on the back, but I love this card. I just think it's so stinking cute. So pretty. I may have to just suck it up and put a little thing there. You know what it could take? You know what it could take? Because I couldn't get that to erase very good. So hang on. I'm going to put one of these little tiny sequins. One of these little tiny sequins right here. It's gold. and it's gonna be perfect. There we go. Done. And that's not even very thick, so it won't make a difference. Okay, so let's finish off the envelope. We already stamped our little doohickeys. So we'll put a piece of the DSP on. You could use either one. I like the one with the little green leaves, my own self. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. I do love, love, love this paper. I just really do love it. And the two-tone floral is a gorgeous set. It really is. Then the world's easiest fussy cut. Take this opportunity to practice your fussy cutting skills with the paper pushed up against the fulcrum. That's this part of the skizzas. And when you're ready to make a turn, turn the paper with the paper holding hand. Don't turn the scissors. Turn the paper, turn the envelope, and you will get what even the fussiest of fussy cutters would think was a perfect cut. All right, guys, there you go. A Z-fold card with Kind and Sincere and two-tone Flora and the gorgeous Regency Park. I hope you've liked it. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys on Thursday for another YouTube video. Have a good one, guys. Thank you so much. Ta.